Okay, and action. We almost broke a camera.
This is a GH2. Bought this camera in 2011. That's like 13 years ago. I've taken this camera all over the world. Siberia, Asia, like multiple trips to Europe, Alaska, Mexico, a whole bunch of states. This camera is awesome. If you'd have told me 13 years ago that I would be sitting here holding a GH7, about to tell you all about the film I made with it, I'd have thought you were crazy. Relax, already broke this one. Welcome to Adventure in Art. My name is Ben Staley. Let's get into it. Ring, ring. Hello? Oh, hi, Panasonic. Oh, I'm good. How are you? Awesome. Glad to hear that. A new camera? Cool. Yes. Yes, Panasonic. I would love to make a film with your new camera.
All right, glad you guys are here. We're gonna have fun today. We're gonna rock it out.
Have fun all day. 1, 2, 3, have fun!
You getting excited?
Making movies with friends is fun. Okay, if she comes around, are we happy? Oh yeah, we're happy. But it's complicated.
Okay, so GH7. We kind of thought it might be coming. We hoped it was coming. We knew when it did come, it would have some improvements, and boy, does it. A whole host of improvements and upgrades. I'm gonna just let everybody else out there in the internet talk about that. There are two things that are game changers for me inside of this camera. The GH7 will now record internal ProRes RAW. This is kind of unbelievable. I kind of still can't believe it. If you have a little CF Express Type B card, you pop it in here and bada bing, bada boom, you can record in ProRes RAW internally. You don't need anything externally. This is all you need.
And then I'm right here.
Sorry, brother. No, you're
I'm right here.
You're
Just
the pro.
put the pad right up here. There we go. Now hit that.
In addition to that, yes, it will record in Vlog. We all love Vlog, it's great. You can also choose to record in Arri Log C3. What does that mean? Hang on.
There we go, right there. I lost my monitor. Okay, this is the shot. Okay, so now you guys just rewind from there. There we go. Now, slight push in, action.
So Panasonic wanted me to make a film with the GH7 alongside an Arri Alexa. What's an Arri Alexa? It's pretty much a top of the food chain, super high-end cinema camera.
We can turn everything to gold.
Here's a little history lesson. For the last 15 years or so, we have been in like kind of a camera renaissance. Technology is just like improving and improving and improving. And all these higher end companies, you know, they're all like kind of in this arms race of like higher frame rates and more resolution. Pixels, 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 right? First it was HD, then it was 4K, 5K, 6K, 8K. Now there's 16K. Who knows how many Ks are gonna be next? All the while, Arri's been over here on their side of things going, you guys can fight over your pixels. We're just gonna have the best color in the industry. And you know what? They do, because all the best DPs making the biggest movies pretty much all use Arri cameras. Well, now you have that color science and the benefit of that research and that development inside the GH7. You can shoot in an Arri Log C3. So in addition to Vlog, which is already phenomenal, now you can shoot with Arri Log C3, making this a perfect companion piece on a high-end production. So my assignment from Panasonic was shoot a film with an Arri Alexa as your A camera, but use the GH7 as your B camera, as your crash camera, put it to the test, beat it up, find out what it can do, really push this little camera alongside the highest end cinema camera out there. Oh, and one more thing, try and break it. Yeah. So I sat down and I wrote this little thing called the cookie jar. What is the cookie jar? I mean, it's a little short action film, kind of a spy, secret agent, kung fu film, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of action. Hopefully it's a good time, kind of an homage to John Wick, James Bond, Indiana Jones, G.I. Joes, that kind of thing. It's basically the kind of film that I would have loved when I was 14. I mean, heck, it's basically the kind of film I still would love. If I was gonna pull this off, I pretty much need the most badass cast you can think of. The first people that came to mind were my friends Jackie Ho and Annalisa Richards, both actresses, both stunt performers, both incredibly talented martial artists.
That's dope. See, I'll cut in on the hits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't show the whole thing, but we'll cut between all the angles, and the hits really sell here.
Nice.
That's dope. Okay, awesome, ladies. We're almost done. This is the money, okay? You're doing great. Give me that third fight.
I knew that these two ladies could pull off the kind of hard-hitting combat that I wanted to get on screen. Once I had them on board, Jackie suggested that we recruit her friend Gavin Teragawa, who she does martial arts with. And Gavin is also a stunt performer and a fight choreographer. So the three of them got together twice a week for like 6 weeks and worked out this entire fight sequence. Jackie and Annalisa had the action covered, but I kind of needed some comedy to round it out. So I recruited Danielle Jacobs. It was pretty easy to recruit her because she also happens to be my wife. We've actually been making short films together for, I'm not gonna say how long, but a pretty long time.
Ooh, puzzles. I'm on it.
The whole cast and crew just kind of knew Danny as the producer, but when it was time for her to shoot her scenes, she like donned her wardrobe and had some makeup on and
You don't know how happy that made me to catch all
she came out and everybody was like, oh, it was actually a pretty cool moment. Danny crushed it.
It's like I'm a nerd who's super into ecstasy.
I knew this little film was going to be a big job, and I knew that it was going to take a lot of energy, and I was going to need a collaborator that I could count on. Joe is a new friend. We only met last year, but he's quickly become a very good friend. He's one of the most broadly talented, creative people I've ever met. It's kind of insane. So right away when I started thinking about this project, I knew I wanted to ask Joe if he wanted to be the DP, and thankfully he agreed. Honestly, he made everything better than I could have imagined. He brought a professional team with him, and he had his eye on the ball, attention to detail. He brought so many ideas and so many things that just elevated the whole film. Very grateful. Of course, I wanted to bring on some of my own friends, including Russell, who I've worked with on a couple different TV shows. I brought Russell on to handle the gimbal. We'll get to that in a minute. Also brought on my good friend Milo to do some BTS photography. and my other good friend, Michael Blevins, to handle the BTS video. Pretty much all the behind the scenes video you're seeing here, most of it was shot by Michael. In addition to that, Danny and I brought on our friend Jimmy Trigger, who helps us on all projects like this. I say it all the time, your creativity is defined by your limitations. Now, I had resources and I had favors and I had friends to help me out on this little film, but our resources were not unlimited. I basically had to get the whole thing shot in a single day, and that was almost a Herculean task. Here's how we did it.
Ready and action.
Right away when I was conceiving this project, I was thinking about the lighting and I was thinking about the look of it. Now, I have really grown to love Nanlite PavoTubes. Actually got one right back here, giving me this little blue rim light that I have on my bald dome. I've always wanted to light an entire set just with PavoTubes, and we did just that.
Okay.
Oh, that's sick.
No, not yet. It's not even sick yet. This is just getting ill.
No, great.
Just barely ill, coming down with something. It's not sick yet. Hey, Ben, over here. It's got the consumption. Now we're actually sick.
Okay, now we're sick.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, now we're sick.
Typically in a regular production, you'll shoot this way, you have all the lights, then you turn around to shoot this way, you have to move all the lights and light it the other direction. With these PavoTubes, we was able to build them into the set, into the environment, so that we never had to turn around. We could shoot 360 degrees. We could point the camera anywhere. The lighting is all even. These PavoTubes gave me that ability and allowed us to work very fluidly, very smoothly, not have to turn things around, not have to have delays. They were a big reason that we were actually able to successfully shoot this entire film in a day. We used the PavoTube 30s, which are like 4 feet long, and then along the walls of the set, we used the 60s, which are like 8 feet long. These are like 8-foot long LED tubes. You can dial them into any color you want. You can adjust the brightness. I don't think we could have pulled this movie off without these PavoTubes. Action.
Okay, back to one.
Our A camera for most of the dialogue and some of the action was the Arri Mini LF, pretty much a workhorse for high-end productions. On that camera, we used the Arri Master Primes, super awesome lenses. Most of the time we had the camera on a Steadicam. Initially I was thinking we would shoot the film all handheld, but at the last minute I decided a Steadicam would be cooler and allow us to move the camera quicker. We wouldn't need to use a dolly or anything like that. I'm really glad that I hired Rowan to come in and be a Steadicam operator for the Mini LF. Rowan just crushed it, and he worked hard. Let me tell you, we were shooting fast. He was running all over the place trying to keep up with these ladies as they were fighting. Pretty cool. As amazing as an Arri Mini LF is, it's heavy, it's bulky, and it's very, very expensive. The advantage of a camera like a GH7 is that it's small, it's light, and it's relatively inexpensive. I can move this camera much faster. It's smaller, I can put it into tighter spots. It just gives me creative options that you won't get with a large, expensive, and heavy high-end cinema camera. This little thing is a secret weapon, and that's how we used it.
This is where the GH7 is a secret weapon. And it's a tool to tell this story in a much more immersive way that we can't do with a large 30-pound camera. Let's try it. Yeah, we need to adjust it when adjust. Let's see. Hang on, my monitor's upside down. Okay, now just very carefully, guys, I just need to focus on you.
I wanted these fights to be hard-hitting and to be kind of immersive. I wanted to really feel all these punches and kicks and what these ladies had spent like 6 weeks practicing. I wanted the audience to really feel it, and I wanted to get right in there. So we got a Tilta Hermit POV camera and we mounted the GH7 to that so that the camera would rest basically right over the actress's face shooting down. And to pull this off, we used this tiny lens from Laowa, a 6mm rectilinear lens. That means there's no distortion. This is a tiny cinema lens, super wide angle, like equivalent to 12mm on full frame with no distortion. That little Laowa lens gave a look to these fights that frankly I haven't seen before.
We are rolling. How's that for direction? Do a bunch of ninja shit. And action.
Once we'd covered the whole fight with the Mini LF and with the Hermit POV camera, I wanted to get in there.
So we're shooting handheld with the GH7. I don't have a cage or any metal parts on the camera because if the stunt actors hit the camera, I don't want to injure them with like a hard piece of metal. So the camera is just slimmed down. I just have the grip here. It's as soft as it can possibly be. And hopefully nobody hits it. We don't want any injuries. But it's an amazing tool that can move super fast and get into tight spots and get kind of a POV and a perspective that's pretty much impossible any other way that I know of. All right, you guys ready?
Are we really gonna crash and burn? Are we really gonna crash and burn? There's nowhere else you can run to, nowhere you can hide.
I kind of just can't help grabbing a camera and jumping into the middle of the action and trying to make some shots. It's basically what I love the most.
Give me that third fight. Is this the one where you're down on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. And amazing.
Do you guys need to watch this one, or are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. I'm gonna wing it. Okay, and action.
I love how I'm able to whip this camera around and move it very fast handheld to really sell these punches and these kicks.
We almost broke a camera. In the danger zone.
Oh, we totally destroyed it.
Oh, it's back up, it's back up. Did we get the shot? All right. I don't know. I guess we sacrificed one GH7 to the gods of cinema. But that's okay, we got the shot.
Running out of time now.
This is the actual GH7 that I used handheld in the cookie jar. It's a little beat up. It hit a brick wall twice. It got kicked into me one time pretty hard. May have taken some other hits, I can't even remember now. But the truth is, it actually still works. I kind of can't believe it. It's got a few dents in it, it's got some scratches, but after being slammed into a brick wall a couple times and kicked around, kicked out of my hands, the darn thing still works. These cameras are amazingly tough.
Scene 6 take 3 marker.
Next, it was time to shoot the glitch scenes. We used the Mini LF with Joe operating handheld, as well as the GH7, this one right here, with this little Laowa 18mm T1.0 Cine lens. This little lens is awesome, super fast, very good in low light.
What's going on? Just kidding.
Okay, we can go now. We can go now.
The last thing we needed to shoot was the very end of the film where one of the characters escapes on this cool custom chopper motorcycle. And to film that, we used this brand new Super 73 e-bike that's been rigged out by Tilta. Tilta actually told me that we are the first production ever to use this thing. It's rigged out with speed rail and you can hang a gimbal off of it. This is an amazing little tool for capturing moving images. I had my good buddy Milo driving the Super 73 e-bike. He's an expert motorcycle rider. And I had Russ on the back pulling focus and operating the gimbal. Doubling Jackie Ho's character of Baby Bear is my friend Paige, who is actually friends with Jackie. They actually knew each other, which is crazy, but it's Paige's chopper that we use, so she knows how to ride it, and she's about the same size as Jackie, so we just put her in Jackie's wardrobe and put a helmet on her.
Sick.
We used the GH7 on the Super 73 e-bike, and we used this Laowa 18mm T1.0 lens to shoot the final exterior scenes. I love this lens. I love how good it is in low light, which was very much needed. We're only using available light out on the streets. And one thing I love about this lens is the way it flares. I'm kind of obsessed with lens flares, and I love the flares that this lens gives off. I knew if I was really going to test this camera as a crash camera and it was going to get beat up and thrown around on set, I needed cards I could count on. When you're shooting in ProRes, you're just chewing through the data. You need large cards, and you need cards that you can trust that if you're banging the camera around, you're still going to have the footage on the card. I have to shoot everything in one day. I can't afford to lose footage. I just can't have any mistakes. I have no margin for error. I edited the cookie jar in Final Cut Pro. I love Final Cut Pro. The first thing I did was back up all my footage to a SanDisk G-RAID mirror drive. This is a RAID 1. It means there's 2 copies of the footage on the drive. It's a totally safe backup. If something happens, I'm not gonna lose the footage. It's protected. For an editing drive, I used a SanDisk Pro G40 SSD. This is a solid state drive, lightning fast, and it's awesome to edit on.
Are you working for these guys now?
What can I say? The pay is good.
You can see the cookie jar and a whole bunch of other BTS content on my website, benstaley.com.
The moral of the story is making movies with your friends is a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it. You know, I bought this GH2 a long time ago because I just wanted something small and light and compact that I could take into almost any environment and tell any kind of story I wanted. Pictures, video, whatever, you name it. It got the job done. I guess for me, Lumix cameras have always been storytelling cameras. And you know, this new GH7, it certainly fits the bill. Honestly, I really can't wait to see what other storytellers do with this thing. I think it's remarkably capable. I think it's gonna be a game changer. People are gonna do remarkable things with this little camera, I know it. I'm not done with it. So that's my story. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. I think I need to rest now. We'll see you next time. Take it easy.